In my first ramp show, I was I was nervous, obviously, and I messed up the choreography a little bit. It was my first show. And it was a complicated choreography, and that choreographer was extremely rude. And she, after the show, shouted at me in front of 50 models, and I just took it there, and then I went and I sat in an auto and I started crying. Yes, there were many times when I gave auditions for a film where they were looking for a newcomer, and then they ended up going with a star kid, or they ended up going with an already established actor. So that was disheartening. Where I was like, okay, why did you audition if you didn't want? Yeah, there were times where I would just have a low day, where I would like call my mom 10 times, and there would be times where I would just break down. Where I was like, I don't know if what if I don't get something more and all of that. And कभी-कभी होता था बहुत टाइम तक ऑडिशन भी नहीं होते थे. तो तब it was such a lull where you're like, nothing is there. The audience doesn't know your name. Today, like a Taimur, when he grows up, everybody knows who Taimur is. So when a Taimur is coming in a film, I would be like, oh wow, he's coming in a film. Someone whose name is not registered, पहले तो पता ही नहीं होता है ना. You won't know about the film. You won't know about the launch. Show me a smile. No, it's okay. I think your nostrils flare a little bit when you smile. So yes, there will be criticism from everywhere. Yeah. So when I smile or laugh, sometimes they do. But that's normal, na? Not a plastic doll.
Seven years ago, I met a girl who came from a very humble background, not knowing what to do, how to do, vulnerable, and of course the question that was on her minds was कि मैं ज़्यादा तो नहीं बोल रही हूँ. Today I see her as a confident woman, taking rapid strides in her career, and I love her for who she is, and I'm happy for her because her victories seem a lot more personal. Welcoming Kriti Sanon in conversation with Bollywood Bubble on her story presented by Limelight Lab Grown Diamonds. Hello. I have been wanting to do this. Finally, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है कि मेरे one of my first shoots after such a long time has been with you. I was telling them that I don't know why, but I'm having this sense of nervous energy. I am, if you can see, there's
why? But you're always nervous in the beginning with me. I don't know why.
Because you never let me finish my introductions. That's why. But you know, Kriti, like I said, I've seen you literally grow step by step in your career, and because I've seen ना, तो मुझे लगता है कि in those milestones there's a little bit of me also, which I feel very personally attached to. From the time where you started off, would you ever think, did you live the common girl's dream? Everybody wants to have a career, or everybody dreams like you and wants to live their dream like you. I want to know that, how do you see the Kriti from that then? What would you tell that Kriti?
What would I tell that Kriti? That just keep believing in yourself and keep doing what you do with all your heart, and you will reach where you want to reach. Because I think back then also, when you come from a non-film background into this industry, there are a lot of what ifs, there are a lot of, like, it's not a very secure profession, especially when you come from a family of professionals, of your mother being a physics professor, dad's a CA, you've done BTech, everything is like, but beta plan B rakhna, so that plan B is always in your parents' head. I feel like it's not in your head once you know what you want to do. And I think the day I moved to Mumbai, I knew I wanted to be an actor, and when you start dreaming, you can't go back. And yeah, I am proud of my journey, and I'm proud of the fact that I was told by so many people that it's too big a dream. There are so many people who are in Mumbai wanting to be here, struggling, and it's true. But I didn't let that come in my way. I did believe in myself. Yes, I was lost in many places when I came here, because I didn't know anybody, and I didn't know where to start, how to start. What do you do? Do you take a portfolio? Do you go to people? Which movie is good? Which production is big? Which production is not? I had no idea. I was not a filmy buff. So yeah, I was a Madhuri Dixit fan, but that was about it.
And Hrithik Roshan fan.
And a Hrithik Roshan fan also.
And a Shah Rukh Khan fan.
Yeah, many. But it just was like, I was never starstruck. So, I was never like obsessed about films. And I had just recently discovered that maybe I can act and I like doing this. I enjoy being in front of camera. I've not done theatre, I've not done workshops.
Yeah.
Um,
There has been
but
no
I'll
formal
learn.
training.
But I'll learn. Yeah, there was no formal training. My training has only been on the job. From not knowing the mark and where the facing of the camera is, and ending up giving your bag and realizing, oh shit, it was my bag.
That happened?
Of course it happens in the beginning. You have no idea. In the beginning, you have no idea. I still date also, I perform better when it's my back shot. So it does happen with me. Like, of course I know it now, but when it's your back shot, it kind of takes away the fact that the camera is there. You know, and you end up like giving something magical if you're giving your 100%. I feel so many people don't realize what they're passionate about for a very, very long time.
Absolutely.
It's very difficult to find your passion.
Absolutely.
Because we don't try things sometimes. We भेड़ चाल में हम लोग चलते हैं, हमें लगता है अच्छा अभी मुझे साइंस और कॉमर्स और आर्ट्स में से ही एक चूज करना और कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है, तो ओके मे बी दिस, and then we just keep going, and it's very rare that you actually find your work and your passion coinciding. And I'm just glad that I'm able to do that.
But when you come from a humble background which has no idea basically about this world, about what stardom feels like, and honestly, even after years of you being a star, the mahal at home is very normal, because
I'm so glad.
Exactly, thank God for that. But when you started off, when did you realize, how did it begin for you? Not many people know where it began, at what age, how it all began, because you started modeling in Delhi.
Modeling also started like chalo karke dekhte hain, that. Okay, so somewhere I do feel like destiny has a big part in at least my realizing my passion, because I was a studious child. I was very, very shy. I had stage fright. I used to love dancing. That's all I knew. So I never tried acting, dramatics, nothing. I used to love just dancing. Performing on stage and dance was still something I could do. I would be extremely nervous before entering the stage. So I had that fear. I have been an ambivert where I'm, I can be an introvert if you don't know me, but once you get to know me, I'm like,
but
really.
You're still like that.
Yeah, I'm still like that. So when I was doing my BTech, it was just randomly when someone just said that, why don't you try modeling? You've got a good height. And I was like, first I was like, nah, I don't want to do it. And then I was like, okay, let me just try it. Let me see. Like, it could be a hobby. It could just, if not anything, it could help me like improve my personality, grow a little, which it did. And I started, I randomly clicked pictures. My sister clicked my photographs, and they're hideous pictures now when I look back. And I posted it on some site which said that if you win this fresh face contest, you'll get a free portfolio by Dabu Ratnani. Because Dabu Ratnani charges a bomb for a portfolio, and I knew that, and I knew nothing about any other photographer. So I won that contest. I got a modeling contract. I got a portfolio done by him. I was extremely nervous in that. And then I just started getting, I started auditioning for ads. I started doing ramp shows. I started doing photo shoots. Ramp shows, photo shoots, my first ramp show, first photo shoot, both I came back crying.
Why?
Because, okay, firstly, if you scold me, I'm still the same person. If someone close scolds me very badly, I'll start crying there only. So I'm still that person. But in my first ramp show, I was very, I was nervous, obviously, and I messed up the choreography a little bit. It was my first show, and it was a complicated choreography. And that choreographer was extremely rude, and she, after the show, shouted at me in front of 50 models. And I just took it there, and then I went and I sat in an auto and I started crying. So I went back home and I cried and cried and cried. And my mother was like, I don't think this is meant for you, I like, you need to be like a lot more stronger, thick-skinned and all, a lot more confident than what you are. My first photo shoot, I'd not even done a portfolio by then. Okay, so I was literally facing the still camera for the first time, not knowing what posing is, what am I supposed to do. I was extremely conscious. And the photographer was a big photographer, and he saw me and he was very sweet, but he said, it's your first photo shoot, na? And the moment someone tells you that, you know that you're not doing something right. So I freaked out more, and the fact that I had not performed well bothered me so much that I went back home and I cried. So, I think I've always been that person where I have to do it right. I have to perform well. Even in a scene where if I don't perform well, you get that feeling, and I take that feeling back home. So I feel my mom that time was like, I don't think you're meant for this place. I think one needs to be way more confident and thick-skinned than what you are. And but I think I've also been the person who
Never gives up.
doesn't give up.
Yeah.
So I think I'm so glad that I gave it all a second shot, and I gained that confidence in the process of doing things.
But Kriti, I want to ask you that I have also come from Calcutta to Bombay, and it's a very unsettling experience to stay away from family. Today, you are in the liberty where they come and stay with you, but in the beginning, when you were staying all by yourself, when you hadn't been Kriti Sanon, hadn't become Kriti Sanon, how difficult were those days? Did you feel loneliness? Because as stars, as actors, we tend to overlook that side completely. I'm saying even the people who are from the industry might be going through
Yeah, of course.
those moments, but we never speak about that.
See, for me, honestly, I had never been in a hostel. I had never lived away from my family. I've always been a very pampered child, I would say. I've been at home, had all my facilities. I've not traveled in DTC bus and all. I used to take autos. When I went in college, I got my car. I learnt driving, all of that. But I'd never been away from home. So my dad was fortunately working in Mumbai when I moved here. So first 5-6 months at least, I was with my dad. It was unsettling only because it was a new place, and the thing that I was attempting and where the field that I was going in, nobody knew anything to guide me.
It's so uncertain.
Nobody, uncertain is there, but किसी को कुछ पता भी नहीं था कि क्या करना है. So I was with an agency which I'm still with, and thankfully there were people who could guide me, tell me what to do, tell me how much to wait, you'll get something better, believed in me. So that helped. But yes, after 6 months or so, my dad went, and that was the first time I was staying alone all by myself in a rented house, taking care of small things like, maid aa rahi hai, nahi aa rahi hai, khana bana, nahi bana, all of that. And I was also taking classes for GMAT at that point.
I know.
So I was...
And you scored really high.
Yeah, I decently high. But I used to go for my classes, go for auditions, come back home and I hate coming back to an empty flat. I hate coming back when there's nobody home. It is it can be very, very... I'm not a person who likes being by myself. Yeah, if I know there are people in my house, I can be in my room the entire day. That's okay. But the feeling of at least home, True. I think comes with people. And on and off, my sister used to sometimes come stay with me, for a few days and all of that, and go back. So yeah, that was, I used to have low moments where I would be I don't know if anything is going to happen ever. I would go for auditions, not get selected sometimes.
Was that a painful experience? Sometimes, most of the actors who come from outside, they say that the way they are treated at auditions, they were treated before they became actors, is quite bad. Fortunately,
I wasn't treated bad. I just feel like maybe I wasn't good in the beginning. I also grew with auditions. I became better with auditions. Yes, there were many times when I gave auditions for a film where they were looking for a newcomer, and then they ended up going with a star kid, or they ended up going with an already established actor. So that was disheartening. Where I was like, okay, why did you audition if you didn't want to go with a newcomer? There were times when I got a film which I've spoken about before. I'm not the name, but I got a film which was by a big production, and very big production, but it didn't have a good enough part. She was the only girl, but it was an ensemble. It didn't have much for me to do, and it was a big casting director, and she was sweet, but she told me do you want to wait out or you want to do it? Because and then my manager was also told that I don't think she can get something better. She should just take it up. And that time it was such a, you go through a dilemma where you're like, should I just do it? What if I don't get another film? Should I just start? Let me just start. And you're so desperate to start at that point where you just want to, you're self-doubting, you don't know if you'll get another opportunity, not. And you're like, okay, let me just do it. What if I don't get something else? But at that time, your heart is still feeling like, there's not much for me to do. Okay, fine, it's a big production, but I don't know. So I was just glad that my management at that point said that, no, I feel like you should wait it out. Your first film is so important. Wait out for the right project. It will come your way.
It is because I have friends who are still struggling to even get their first bit. even a small role. And I know because they are happy people, but at the end of the day, when they don't crack it, it can be deeply frustrating.
It can be very frustrating.
And desperate. They can get desperate. Like I have a brother who knows their weakness, okay, and you will not shortcoming. Basically, it's something related to physicality. The point is, but he's now desperate to do even a cameo. Like I know the desperation that comes with the job. And it's good that you didn't get. But were there moments where you thought that, like,
of course, there were many moments. In fact, there were times where I would get like really low because also, as an engineer, you're bound to be very busy.
Yeah.
You know, you're not like, you don't have Vela time. And I was suddenly like not doing anything. And I didn't know where I was going. I had dropped a year, you know, and yeah, there were times where I would just have a low day where I would like call my mom 10 times, and there would be times where I would just break down, you know, where I was like, I don't know if you know, what if I don't get something more and all of that. And कभी-कभी होता था बहुत time तक audition भी नहीं होते थे. तो तब it was such a lull where you're like, nothing is there, you know, what do I even go and try for? There's nothing there. So there were moments, and I feel like everyone's journey is different, you know. There could have been a point where actually maybe I would have not gotten a Hero Panti.
Yeah.
Maybe that opportunity would have not been there. Then what? Maybe I would have gone with something at that point which was feeling like the best option. So that way is also fine. I feel like you have to decide how much to wait also. And at times it's beneficial if people see you, you know, because you don't have a name, you don't have a tag that is going to be remembered or that will be noticed, or people are not waiting for your launch. You know, you just have to sometimes be out there, show yourself that, okay, I can do this and I can do more maybe if I'm given the opportunity. So I was just lucky to have gotten it within like 6 months or something. Otherwise I would have been like...
You have had supportive family, but relatives can be judgmental.
Relatives, even friends can be sometimes.
Yeah. Did you face those kind of?
It did, of course. Like I remember, I mean, so many relatives who were suddenly, firstly, they were shocked because it was like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they were like, नहीं इतनी bright लड़की है, पढ़ाई में इतनी अच्छी है, क्यों ये सब छोड़ के जाना? You know, वहाँ पे तो कितने सारे ऐसे लोग हैं जो try कर रहे हैं, कुछ होता नहीं है, contacts भी नहीं है कोई. So, you know, how is she going to get it? It's, as I said, it's too big a dream was basically. And then there were a lot of things कि शादी नहीं होती है जल्दी, you know, and then nobody wants to marry an actor or a model. And so you hear all these things, you joke about it, you laugh it out. That was never my agenda. I don't know why people have this thing in mind कि शादी होना is an agenda. It was never an agenda. I was told that, but yes, I'm very, very glad that I had supporting parents and family where they were... My mother has always been someone who's like, you know, she wanted to do so much in life. Like basic things like, you know, she wanted to learn how to sing. She wanted to learn swimming. She was in, like her culture at her home was such that उन्होंने पढ़ाई भी जो की है खुद लड़के की है जो वो you know इस profession में आई हैं. She was the first working woman in her family.
Oh.
Yeah, there was no working woman in her family, in relatives also.
Which is why I think she has the...
So she always felt that, you know, she always felt that I want you to do everything that you feel like, that you dream about. Don't hold it back because tomorrow you'll regret.
Yeah.
So I think that's why she supported me, and my father also did. And yeah, I'm just glad. There were some friends also, like one of my male friends who's also still a friend, but he said that, you know, marriage becomes a problem. So I was just shocked that my generation also thinks this way. Where that was like a little shocking, and I was like, why is everybody talking about marriage? You know, there's so many more things. I'm like attempting something which is uncertain, which is, yes, it's a big dream, but I just feel like, let me try it. I won't know if I can do it otherwise.
Absolutely. Today you've proved all your naysayers wrong, but mostly there's a myth, right? That models can't act. And you can't look...
I don't know why people don't believe in beauty with brains, because that does exist.
Yeah.
And I don't think your appearance has anything to do with your brain.
But did you face those kind of comments ever?
Models can't act, and I mean, I think it takes some de-glam roles for people to notice your acting, you know, otherwise you're considered, or sometimes they
pretty
judge
face.
Yeah, you're considered to be a pretty face or whatever, or sometimes they also judge the kind of films that you would want to do. You know, after my second film, I was told by someone that, oh, but you know, this is not your kind of a film. And I was like, I have not figured my kind of a film. So I don't know what you're talking about. So I think because they've seen us dressed on the red carpet, the way I'm dressed in my normal life or whatever, you know, they would feel like, okay, I don't think she can do a Bareli Ki Barfi.
Yeah.
So I feel like Ashwini did get that from a few people, you know, where they were like, I don't think she, you know, she's fit casting for it. How can she look like a Bareli ki ladki, you know, needs like a little more de-glam kind of a girl. And I think today I have done so many films where every time someone said, I don't think she fits the part, I've fortunately excelled and been appreciated for it. Whether it's a Bareli Ki Barfi or when there were a lot of people who were like, Arey, but Kriti as a Marathi girl, you know, in Panipat, she's a Punjabi, North Indian looking girl, how can she? I mean, that doubt honestly even I had in myself a little bit where I was like, how will I look Marathi? Till I wore the Marathi attire. I mean, even in a Mimi, I feel, you know.
Yeah, Mimi, I think not many actresses your age would even take it up. Honestly,
So-
because it creates, industry likes to stereotype and box and typecast and slot you in a certain bracket. If you play a mother at 26, it means like, oh, you will only get mother roles. That is the, I'm not saying that happens.
No,
but I'm
no,
saying
even
that you're
I
told.
heard this. I was also told. I was told that why you playing a mother so early in your career. I was like, but firstly, it doesn't matter. Secondly, it's a journey now of this girl. This girl is also not ready to be a mother. Firstly, look at the journey. It's a journey of like about 4-5 years of hers, and the story is more special than any of these things. So when I've connected with the story, then it didn't matter. I didn't feel that it was a risk at all. It didn't occur to me at that point. But yeah, even for Mimi, I mean, she comes from Mandava or whatever, you know. So, like, Dinu's also seen me more in like slightly more urban or even like when it's not urban also, it's at least like, you know, pretty looking girl or whatever. So I remember I'd shown him one look test of some film which I didn't end up doing, which was a very de-glam, very gown looking look test, and I showed him. I'll show you the picture also. And I showed him that. I said I can look like this, and he looked at that and he was like, okay. And then like the point was that I can look like whatever you want me to look like. You know, I feel like hair, makeup, costume does everything, and they can transform you to look like whoever you want. You know, they can make you look like an alien also. It doesn't matter.
But you know, as an outsider, the biggest problem is I'm not talking about nepotism. It's about equality. You know, the conversation should actually be about equal opportunities.
Yeah.
And when you don't get that in the beginning, it can be deeply frustrating again. There are plenty of times where you have also lost films to industry kids. I want to know that लोग बोलते हैं ना कि middle class family के पास सिर्फ सपने होते हैं. You know, sapne, I'm being honest, we live on dreams. Our life is built on dreams and we keep dreaming like you have dreamt of it. At times when you see that you have to struggle way more to live up to your own dreams, does it give you a jolt ever? And especially in these circumstances, even with a Mimi, there's no guarantee that tomorrow you will not be replaced by somebody who has industry connections.
But honestly, that can happen to anyone. Na? Even like industry kids can be replaced by someone else if they're not performing beyond a point.
Yeah.
So yes, I would agree with the fact that there are a lot more struggles and you have to prove yourself a lot many more times in the beginning to achieve a certain point which someone who has the backing of a name or whatever, or getting films on a platter because they have connections, would reach their way sooner.
Yeah.
So I feel like you have to prove yourself many more times. Firstly, as I've spoken before, you know, the audience doesn't know your name. Today, like a Taimur, when he grows up, everybody knows who Taimur is. Yeah. So when a Taimur is coming in a film, I would be like, oh wow, he's coming in a film. Someone whose name is not registered, पहले तो पता ही नहीं होता है ना, you won't know about the film, you won't know about the launch. So it is everything together with the industry, the opportunities, the media, and the audience. I feel it's all, you know, tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Like,
that's why I say it's all about equality. It is eventually.
It is, and but I do still believe in the fact that if you have talent,
yeah, you'll make
and if you are passionate and aggressive about it,
True.
you can't be thanda कि हाँ talent है अभी आ जाएगा जो आना है. नहीं, You have to be a go-getter. You have to
Agree.
hustle. You have to find your way. You have to, if you want to work with someone, you have to go and tell them, I want to work with you. You know, and sometimes, like, I showed Dinu that picture that I can be this person. Sometimes, like, do that extra thing to
But you know,
convince.
before you started, there were times, moments of self-doubt which you have spoken to me about also, personally, not on camera, I guess. Where you said that you didn't know how to even dress up for meetings because you are clueless.
Yeah.
You are not, you don't have that industry pedigree
Yeah.
to know how to behave. What
That
to
is
say,
there, actually.
you
That
know?
is there. When you come from a film background, you've seen people all around. You've seen these filmy parties. You know how to be. You're more groomed.
Yeah.
So when you don't, though I feel grooming has nothing to do with what you're on screen.
Absolutely.
It is only and only your talent. You're not playing yourself anymore, so it doesn't matter. But yes, that one meeting that you go for, the impact that you leave in that meeting, the confidence that you have, you know, can be a lot more when you already...
Were you ever told
What to wear?
what to wear?
Yeah.
Do this,
I've gone with my manager for shopping in a mall. My manager for shopping in a mall. And, or, you know, start dressing a little more cooler and things like that. I do agree that fashion is something that you slowly discover and learn. You know, when you always, as people also, when we look back at our old pictures, 5-year, 10-year old pictures, we're like, what am I wearing? It is something which is a constant evolving thing, you know. So yeah, but I have always been the person who listens to everyone but does what she feels like. Suno sabki karo apni. That's a good mantra to have. Like, there have been times when someone's like, but you know, I think you should line your lips. And it didn't make sense to me. I tried it once, but then I was like, yeah.
What does that even do? How does...
Like a lip liner, when you line your lips, wo piche se wo haan bol rahi hai. When you line your lips look fuller. Okay. So small things. You should line your lips. You should, you know, show me a smile. No, it's okay. I think your nostrils flare a little bit when you smile. So yes, there will be criticism from everywhere. Yeah. So when I smile or laugh, sometimes they do. But that's normal, na? Not a plastic doll. So
I can't believe that these things are said.
Of course they are said. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of like hair makeup people also who come in, like, because they've been around so much, na. See, I know for a fact that everybody loves giving opinions. And everybody has opinions. And more about other people than themselves. So it's fine. It's okay. You just need to know how much to filter and what to listen to and what to ignore. Because otherwise, if you don't, it can really be messed up.
Yeah.
You know, you'll really like spoil yourself fully. So I think, I just never felt the need to change anything. I think I had the confidence in myself.
Something about your body also. Like, were you asked? A lot of people.
Not about my body, but like these small things, like, you know, nostrils flare when you smile, or so when I smile, like, there's this little skin here.
Yeah.
Which I think is cute, so I don't care.
But
but yeah, like, sometimes it could be. Sometimes some people's teeth are not like aligned or whatever.
They said about that also.
As in, yeah, you've got a gummy smile. Gummy smile, that's what I'm born with. I can't do anything about that. So these are little things that, you know,
this
people...
is body shaming, eventually.
But people don't say it directly, ki ye change karo. They just say it like slightly, that, you know, this, or maybe you should like try or whatever. So I feel like those things everyone hears, yeah. I mean, someone was telling me that now maybe it's not so much the pressure. I think the pressure is only increasing with all these Instagram filters and everything coming. Everyone wants to be perfect all the time. Yeah, I've gone through that. I've heard things. You know, someone said like, Baba, you know, your waist, you should like make it a little more like in. Random things. Random. So these are random only, but there's sometimes random people also saying it. So you have to like make sure that you're not listening to just everybody. Today, when you're on Twitter, when you're on Instagram, there are so many people commenting on every little thing that you do, wear, say. So I feel like it is very important to know how much to filter.
Yeah.
And it's also very important to have your own sane, grounding people around you. You know, the people who don't change.
Today, when you do a film like Mimi, I read a few trade pundits. They've gone on records and said this, that had it been a film release, theatrical release, despite, I hate this term again, woman-centric film like you also hate it, but despite it being led by a female protagonist, it would have done 120 to 140 crore business.
Jale pe namak mat chhidko, I would just say that.
No, but I had said this to you also before watching the film,
Yeah.
because I genuinely sensed that from the trailer, and I just want to ask you that even after all this, you will be facing inherent sexism, because that's a part of industry, society at large. From the time you began, today you've created a footing for yourself, and cemented it. Like after Mimi, वो बहुत ही मतलब एक rock solid जैसा हो गया है. Do you see the industry's perception change towards you and behavior change towards you?
I don't know yet, honestly, because of COVID. I've not really gone out, met people, all of that. But yes, I can sense, and it's not about the industry. It's about audience. And people.
Yeah.
Honestly, industry still knows me. Audience, like that day, like Dino was telling me that people who were not a fan of yours or who didn't love your work are also calling and saying I love her work, and I loved
Same,
what
I
she
want to
did.
say this.
I loved what she did. So I feel like that. Where your audience increases, where your fan base increases, when people who didn't think too much of your work are now noticing. I think that matters. And I think Mimi gave me that opportunity to perform a lot more.
Yeah.
It had so much scope for me as an actor to show my talent, to show my performance. Of course, it was around my character. It made a huge difference. So yeah, I don't know if behavior has changed or not, but yes, there's a lot more. It's nice to get your due, I would just say that. So it's just nice to finally get that validation, to see people look at you differently a little bit, where there are many more opportunities which are like on my shoulders kind of films are coming my way, which
Also, to have the power of choice and the freedom of choice, which is very important for an actor.
yeah, I feel the kind of opportunities I have in front of me now today are the kinds that I was craving for.
Right.
I think I've done one interview very long back where I said that I don't have, like, I still feel frustrated when I don't have the kind of opportunities I want, to choose from. And then what you do is you end up choosing the best out of what you have, which is what you still do. But I think the opportunities have gotten better, broader, for me. And that is an exciting phase to be.
And on that note, we'll move on to the fun segment, a quick fun segment called
Okay.
I Am She, where I'm going to give you a hamper. If you win,
There's nobody else competing with me, what?
but if you have to get, you have to get. So we are back with Kriti Sanon for Limelight. Lab Grown Diamonds presents her story, and this is the segment that we called I Am She. So basically, these are questions. There are 7 questions. It's a game about women who have left a mark in people's minds for whatever they have done. Influential women.
I will be terrible at this.
No, and I'm going to ask you questions, and we'll help you. You have to get 5 out of 7 correct, and we give you a hamper.
Okay.
Okay? Could have gotten something else, but it's okay. Which popular actress, first, hosted the show on TV called Kamzor Kari Kaun?
Was it Neena Gupta?
Yes, it is Neena Gupta. Which cancer survivor wrote the book 12 Commandments of Being a Woman?
Tahira.
It is Tahira.
She
2
also
out of 2.
directed something right now, no? Yeah.
This popular Bollywood heroine started her career on TV as Radhika, is the character's name, in Hum Paanch.
Vidya Balan.
See, you knew, acha.
Vidya Balan तो नहीं, Vidya यार हम पांच सबको पता है यार.
Vidya Balan, so you must be. After working on ad films, this woman filmmaker debuted in 2016 with a mother-daughter relationship story that won her the best filmfare.
Ashwini
debut.
Iyer Tiwari.
Ashwini,
Nilbate
we love
Sannata.
you. Yeah,
Ashwini, we love you.
we love you. Which Indian weightlifter won the silver medal at Olympics this year?
Mirabai Chan.
Yeah, right. So 5 out of 5, you got but I'll still ask you the last 2 questions. After a long break, the superstar heroine returned to showbiz in 2012 with a super hit film directed by a female director.
Oh, Sridevi ma'am.
This feisty Indian journalist rose to fame for her coverage on the Kargil War.
मार खाता.
7 में से 7 मिल चुका है, तो मतलब अब मैं क्या ही
एक दो पीछे से हेल्प हुए थे पर फिर भी 5 तो हो गया.
हाँ, 5 तो मिल ही गए थे, तो
What
this
is
is
all
for
this?
you.
Thank you.
You deserve all of it.
Give me all this when I was gaining weight, na?
Yeah, that time I wanted you to eat. You didn't eat only in that interview, remember?
I didn't eat because the food was very far.
What?
Yes.
I am shocked now. But thank you, Kriti. And like I said, that I know that they say that it's it's responsibility of a journalist to be objective when it comes to their subjects, like how they are called in journalistic language. But with you and a certain few people, of course, with you leading that list, I can't be objective ever.
That's okay, be biased.
Yeah, I am going to be superbly biased towards you forever. And I just want to take this moment to say that वो कृति और इस कृति में बदलाव सिर्फ confidence में आया है. And the fact that you know more about what you can say, what you can't say, and you are not as caged.
I know more about the industry and how it functions in general.
But other than that, there has not been a change.
But I think I used to say even back then. And then like regret.
And then you'll be like,
I'll be like, why
did
did I say this? Yeah.
But the good thing about you is that none of it has changed. Like apart from that, the person that you are, and they say that success changes a person, but it's not. And I know that you've done this, and I can't thank you enough because this show needed you, and I just want to tell the audience that if she can, you can too.
That's something that I hope that women actually look up and get inspired and do something in their life, because I just feel like women themselves only don't believe that they can do it. You know, and when we talk about women empowerment, when we talk about, you know, breaking like the glass ceiling, all of that, I think first we need to believe that we can do it. Don't listen to all the rules. Ask questions, guys. I've been told कि ये बहुत सवाल पूछती है, but I think सवाल पूछना is the only way of growing, is the only way of achieving. So I think, like whenever you're told you can't do this, just say why.
Absolutely.
Thank you for this lovely interview. Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode of Her Story on Bollywood Bubble. If you did, please like, share and subscribe.